Oh, great spirits almighty, it's working. Wow. Okay, well, huh. I guess now that it's working, I better record another visual log here, so, well, before it fails again. Let me see. Well, start at the beginning. Okay, I'm can't. I'm unable to speak anymore. I am Commander Kenti Bengali. Let me see. I am the former chief engineer on board the IPFS. I really truly can't speak. Sarista. Let me see. I have no idea what day it is. None of the chronometers work. I have no idea what date it is, so I'm not very helpful here. Let me see. The last few days have been spent fixing a lot of things, a lot of disasters, a lot of repairs. Let me see. So some of the good news is I did a lot of work here on the station. The can kind of look up here. So the station is coming along. The shipyard station, that is, coming along quite well. It is probably about 80% done now. The landing pads remain, and the very top section, which is kind of hard to see here. So I added, well, I don't remember exactly when the last visual log was, or at least the uncorrupted visual logs, because I've done a lot of logs, and between the suit really still being kind of fried and a lot of other issues, I lost an awful lot of data. So video logs, visual logs included. So such is life, I guess. I'm alive, which is really what matters. Surviving pretty well. So there used to be a set of two assemblers in the center here, sitting on top of a refinery, and I had added a refinery because I was actually bringing in a whole lot more materials than a single refinery could deal with. So added a second refinery. When I got the new miner working, which is this one over here, it has been an absolute dream. It's called a micro miner, but actually can mine better than a lot of large miners. Very, very nice miner, including a miniature Hell Fury in a box that is like a super refinery, and it also has a mineral extractor, which means I can take in all the stone, and it pulverizes the stone down to little tiny molecular shards, and then extracts the trace elements out of everything, and I have no idea what it does with the rest of it, but it's gone. So I'm glad for that. So lots and lots of stone down to trace elements, which I'm happy for too. Glad to have the elements. Glad to have the ores. Those, of course, are sucked up by the refinery and turned into usable product, which is always a good thing. So I've done a lot of mining in between the repairs. So repairs. I think in one of the visual logs we added two more sets of assemblers, which was two on the outside, on the other side, and then two on this side. And I actually added, was it 2 or 4? Maybe it was 4. No, I remember what it was. It was, so there were 2, and then when I took the refineries out, I actually added 2 more, and then I added 2 more. And at the time that I added the 2 more, so it was 4 down, then we added these side sets. So there was actually 2 more sets, 1 on each side, so 12 total working assemblers trying to keep up with the demands for making this thing up here. I eventually added a second nanite control factory here. which aided a lot, and they're still, as you can see, unable to keep up. Do I see any of them working at this point? Not really. Huh. So we might need to do even more repairs here. Anyway, in the end, added 2 more on the bottom here. Refabbed this thing so we actually had a dual feed into the storage. One of the other problems is we completely ran out of storage. I mean, utterly ran out of storage. So that was definitely a big problem. So we added more. So the assemblers kind of not keeping up, but I don't really want to add any more because it's this whole thing is almost done. One of the other things that we ultimately did, there was probably about, we were 50% or so of the way done, and there were quite a few nanite control factories that were done, but they were just sitting there because they weren't connected onto anything. There was no materials up here, of course, so not having any materials was kind of a problem. So what I did was I kind of bored into this area here, and I attached the working existing conveyor system here onto the station here. That way it would have access to all of the resources and this triple, I think it's 6, yeah, it looks like 6 assembler array. So there's actually 3 6 assembler arrays here, so 18 assemblers total. Of course, end to end, bolted end to end. Here they can work cooperatively, which they do. I also set them up, or I had them set up as able to use, or rather able to queue for the nanite factories. So let me check that. It's been a while since I've looked at anything because repairs have been much higher priorities. So nanite factory queuing, which should cover that. Nanite factories should be able to use assemblers. Yes, they can. And I think I had assembler 4, 5, 6, 7, which I think are the assemblers out on the new station. Possibly. Let me see. And we've done a lot of mining, a lot of mapping. I wanted to map out a lot of the area asteroids here, so we would have a lot of resources available, and I've done that. I've put them all in the database, including some of them that I have previously mined out. Less iron, of course, just because there's, iron is lots of iron. So haven't really worried about going anything beyond. We've got plenty of iron at this point. So anyway, let me try and there's still, all of these are showing as get back into, so this is one of the refineries in a hell, refineries in a box, refinery from hell. So clearly these are not working. They're not doing anything. So the question is, why are they not doing anything? Control panel, assemblers, off. On. Unit factories, off. On. And on. Nope, they're still doing absolutely nothing. Huh. Strange. Well, not sure why. Well, thankfully, most of the reactors have finally managed to share enough uranium to get working. There's only a very few. Looks like 6 of them are not working. So the real problem is with these assemblers that are, for whatever reason, not doing what they should be doing. So let me get into production and so number 1, detector, construction, production control components. I don't know what those are for. Steel tube. So let's that. Never had too many of those, I'm presuming. That we need plenty of those. And go to number 2 and get that one queued up in much the same way. So 3, 4 girders. More of those. Never have too many computers. Probably a few more superconductors, motors, and how about some power cells? Well, number 3, what was it working on? Let's do more of those, more of those. How about some steel tubes, interior plate, metal grid, steel plates, and not any such thing. Oh, put some of those in already. Number 4, so that was working on those things, more of those. Generator, how about some reactor components? Number 9, how about more motors? Some thruster components for when we start building other ships, perhaps. Well, 19. I don't know what's going on here. Well, Apparently those are really popular. Again, can never have too many of those. Do some metal grid. Shield component. Yeah, I might need those eventually, huh? Radio communication components, metal grid, and how about some motors? So it's kind of frustrating this not being able to auto queue. Uh-oh, I don't want those. Not yet. Medical components. I guess I haven't built any of those yet, so we might as well. Haven't done explosives yet. Let's do a bunch of girders. More construction components, more computers. Can't have too many computers. All right, 8. Steel tube, large steel tube, construction components, interior plate, steel plate, metal grid, and let's do more of those. Alright, we'll see where these are going here. So at least that one is lit back up. Got a couple of them lit back up now. So the goal here is to finish the station, and once the station is finished, we'll see if there is sublight capability, or rather extra light capability for communications, and maybe put out a call for help. If not, then I guess I've got a new home base and we'll make the best of it for a little while. Maybe worst case scenario, somebody will come through, freighter or something, and we'll figure out where the heck we are, which would be nice, and go from there. In any case, looks like I have the makings of a new home here, which is kind of neat. So I guess that's the review. So I guess I can figure out what I need and start helping. That's what I can do. I can start helping. So 8. Small steel tube, of course. It's always got to be something like small steel tubes, construction components, you know, all the basic stuff. Inventory. Well, I got plenty of girders. Definitely motors. Those. Whoa! Definitely have enough steel plate. Large construction components. So really, small steel tubes. I need small steel tubes. And apparently everything needs small steel tubes because there's none of them. Tube. We have plenty of large tubes, just no small. No small tubes. There's some small tubes. I'm stealing all the small tubes. Yeah, it's probably not liking that. Alright, so let's go down here to some of these at the bottom. See what some of these guys are doing. 18. How about let's just have you do steel tubes. Huh, that came from nowhere. Maybe it's actually working again. I think it is. So inventory. Well, that may be enough for right now. Oh, let's run into things. Alright, so top side. Let's see what that one says. So motor, small steel tubes, power cells. I need computers. Do I have? What am I out of? I don't have computers. Alright, so computers. I do have power cells. And more small steel tubes. Start stealing computers from somewhere. There's a couple. Oh, that was another load of computers. I think we'll take those. Now that the queuing seems to have resolved itself in some mystical, magical way. I don't know exactly how or why. Apparently just my feeding it made it work. Oh, more computers. Alright, I think we have enough to start again. Besides the that one is done. Superconductor. So we need superconductors, huh? All these are done. Wow. Coming along nicely. But we need, of course, by the time I get back up there, then no superconductors. Production. Let's see what we can do. But any of these down here are doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 17, 16, 20, 22. Alright, so superconductors, huh? This might take a little while, but you know what? That's okay. Super. Okay. Yeah. Oops, bounce. Alright, so I was headed up here. My guess is that all these, yes, are done already. I really have very little. That is left to be completed. Okay, how about if you actually build what I'm pointing at, perhaps? find the right place in it all so I can build the damn things, and then everything is fine. Alright, what else do we have? Well, I guess, all things considered, it is blocks. So steel plate, metal grid. So my guess is that we're talking steel plate, metal grid, and interior plate to make all these things. And constant freezing. See if our assemblers are queuing. Yes. Alright, and because we have just a boatload of parts in our own inventory here, let me find put all this stuff in there so it can be utilized by the nanite constructors, and maybe it will be able to finish everything. So yeah, it kind of looks like most of this. Yep, still some need to be completed, and they're starting and working slowly, which is fine. This is just about the only things left. Everything else looks like it is complete, including all the shielding systems. So, this is progressing fairly quickly. I like it. These are finally starting to be built. This one is almost done. A little tiny portion left. So, I think I will go back to supervising, because it's clearly working on things quicker than I am. And then we'll do another video log when the time has come to inspect everything, make sure everything is all good, and then I will start with the tedious process of dismantling our home here, so we have some spare parts, which will be nice. So, without further ado, I will sign off on this visual log and start a new one when there has been some more progress.